about to go down.
Burning your ears with another all-killer and no-filler episode of the best motorsports radio on the planet. It's the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. With your host, Jim Beaver.
Sliding trophy trucks, jumping razors, and dropping the mic at events across the country.
Amy Houde.
What's up, guys? I'm a professional fun haver, dirt bike rider, and monster truck driver.
With support from Polaris RZR, General Tire, Subaru, and Dirtfish. Hang on tight, strap in, and get ready to smoke some tires and lay some roost. Here's the man who carries a steering wheel in one hand and a mic in the other. Jim Beaver.
Good morning and welcome to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Thanks to all of you guys for tuning in. We got one hell of a fun show today. We got Jordan Anderson, NASCAR driver, Camping World Truck Series. Got a massive announcement he just made last week. We've got him locked and loaded on the line. We got my boy Ronnie Anderson coming off a massive win in the Work Series in a brand new RZR RS1 that was literally like bone stock, and he went and did it to the competition, took home a victory in its maiden race. Going to talk with Ronnie Anderson in hour number 2, and then we got my boy CJ Hutchins. He is a Class 1500 driver and Best in the Desert and a General Tire driver, one of my teammates over there at Team General Tire, and he's going to be on the line to talk about his big win in the Parker 425. And I got to tell you, talking about the Parker 425, massive shenanigans ensued this past weekend in Parker, my hometown race, and we've got some crazy stories to talk about. I mean, stuff that you can't even imagine happened in that race. And then we've got, maybe we'll even talk a little bit of the Super Bowl. Levi LaValle, he was doing backflips in Minnesota out front of the Super Bowl on his snowmobile. We got King of the Hammers to talk about. I don't know. It's like a complete full slate. Amy Houde, she's going to be on the line here in a minute. I don't know where she's at. She's calling in from the North Pole, I guess, or maybe the beach in California. You never know with her. But, man, it's going to be a fun show today. And we are also streaming on Facebook Live for the first time ever. So hopefully the stream works. If not, go to downanddirtyshow.com. You can listen there as well. But we're trying out Facebook Live, so give me some feedback on Facebook. Let me know you guys are listening, and everything's coming through crystal clear. But you know what? We got to take a short break. We come back. We got a lot to talk about here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. You want extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on four wheels? The Polaris RZR brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris RZR because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris RZR because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team RZR because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris RZR because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris RZR because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRZR.com or follow at Polaris RZR on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RZRLife to share your story. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount. Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights.
Want the latest from Jim Beaver and Amy Houde? Follow at Jim Beaver 15 and at Amy Houde 71 on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
All right, and we are back here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I am joined on the line by Amy Houde. She did call in today. Welcome to the line, Houde. How is everything going?
Hello. I'm jumping time zones, you guys, so I'm kind of a little out of sorts with my timing. But
when are you
yes,
ever
I'm
in
here.
sorts?
Hello. How's it going?
When are you in sorts? You said you're sort of out of sorts. I think you're like, I want to know when you're in sorts. Is that even a thing with you? Have you ever been in sorts?
Yes, I'd like to think I'm adulting a lot more this year than normally.
Adulting this year. All right. Well, okay. So
I try to be semi-organized. I haven't lost my passport yet in America. So
this year. Yeah, you haven't lost your passport this year.
Yeah, yes. Keyword, yes.
So I got to ask you, we got a ton to talk about, but I know I sent you yesterday. We got to talk about this video. So the Terrible Herbst trophy truck at about 110 miles an hour decided to make hamburger meat. Like, have you ever seen anything like that, Houde? Like, tell me that isn't the gnarliest video in so many different levels. Like, one, they're going fast. Two, they hit a cow at 100+ miles an hour. The truck rolls, blood splatters all over the camera. I mean, just tell me that, like, the whole clip went viral. I mean, it's just all over the internet at this point. But tell me that isn't, like, the craziest thing you've ever seen.
Yeah, and it has like a 360 camera too, so you can move the screen and actually get a full peripheral view. And I don't know if you know that, but I just learned that yesterday, that YouTube videos do that. Did you know that? Like, have you been doing that, Jim?
I saw it on that video. I don't know how to make a 360 video. I know they make like those 360 cameras, right?
Watch like all angles of it. But it's crazy now with like technology and GoPros and all the onboard cameras, the type of footage that you get. Like, you don't get a little cell phone video from a Nokia flip phone, shooting across the desert. You get live on board to see what the driver's going through. Like, surprisingly, like, he did not say a word as it was all happening. They say those things happen really fast, and obviously, because he didn't make a peep, barrel roll, head smack. And man, watching the onboard footage really makes me appreciate the safety precautions that we take in Monster Jam. Like, I can barrel roll my monster truck down an arena floor, and my head and neck do not move. So I think they need to kind of adopt some better safety in those cars.
Well, I will say though,
serious case of whiplash.
No, well, I will say though, because I've wrecked at speeds like that before. Like, not to our credit, I guess to our discredit. I don't know how this is a good thing. But, like, in Monster Jam, you guys roll, and you're going maybe, like, 40, and you guys roll, and it's abusive. But, like, at 110, that's just gnarly.
Yeah, we're also going from, like, 50 feet in the air.
Yeah, you guys are dropping. You're just, like, doing atomic drops. The thing is, like, he walked away, which is amazing, right? So the safety equipment did its job.
Yeah, incredible.
It was just a whole situation.
It's actually really interesting, too, because I'm just talking, we'll jump back into this, but I learned this at our safety summit at Monster Jam. We go over like safety precautions, but actually Monster Jam harnesses are different than any other racing vehicle. Because if you think about it, the NASCAR harnesses, they're made for that one-time impact. Yeah. Like the materials and the woven, straps are made not to be endured from hit after hit after hit every weekend, and usually we go all season with our belts. So it's pretty incredible, the technology that's, specific to what I do in my field. And, like, you'd think NASCAR, like the biggest of the big, obviously, of motorsports, would have best of the best, but it's us. And I think that technology is actually getting integrated into all the other disciplines because it's the best of the best. So why wouldn't you?
Yeah, well, and that's what's funny, too.
I thought that was cool. I learned some fun facts.
Yeah, and I don't know about what you guys, the harnesses you're using there. I do know, like, in motorsport, not that Monster Jam's not a motorsport, but I mean, like, in NASCAR, IndyCar, off-road, that type of stuff. Like, all harnesses aren't the same, though. Like, the material looks the same, but they're so different.
No, they're not at all.
No, they're so different mini grades, and this is something for, like, I'm all talking way over my head at this point. But, like, I know it's not all created equal, and that's for sure. Same with helmets. They all look the same on the outside, but they're definitely not the same on the inside.
Oh, yeah, and you won't catch me wearing anything but a Bell helmet at all.
Oh, come on.
I've had my fair share of concussions, and, I love Bell just because of their, like, I've never had a concussion in a Bell helmet, and I can tell you.
I can say the same for Impact,
though. I've had, like, 12.
I can say the same for Impact, though.
I've stuck with a good thing. I love Bell. I feel super safe. I actually recommend it to all my kids in my motocross schools. They're just top of the line for motocross, and I wear Simpson and Monster Jam, but those are very different helmets. But in moto, when you got no roll cage, I trust my Noodle and my Noggin in a Bell for sure.
Well, and that's one thing I do know. So motocross helmets are different.
Speaking from experience, okay?
Yeah. Well,
I've had everyone under the sun, Jim. Like the HJCs that you can buy at Walmart. Oh, yeah. I had one of those.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. Motorcycle helmets, M-rated helmets, are completely different than auto racing helmets. The shells are completely different. I had no idea we were actually even going to get into safety talk today. Like, we so need to switch gears. But, yeah, like, I've seen people try and wear, like, M-rated helmets. And even in, like, razors, guys want to wear motocross helmets in their razors. Bad idea. Get an auto racing helmet. They're not meant for that. The shells are meant to do different things, and it's just, I don't know, it's a conversation for another day. But yeah, we need to switch gears. We need to get off of this. But
I like it though. We can transition into anything, but it's it's good for people to know, our listeners, because I have an insight. You got an insight. Before monster trucks, I didn't even know. I thought the only seatbelt was a lap belt. Okay, so yeah.
Well, one thing I do know is between you and I, we both crashed our fair share of stuff, right? So we're definitely experienced crashers. But yeah. So
but yeah, so I was trying to look up online, Jim. I was trying to look up like the top 10 race crash into wildlife. And I found a lot of really awesome deer videos of, like, deer and motorcycles. I haven't really found too much in, like, an actual race. But, man, you get deep on the YouTube and find some awesome videos of, like, this deer completely jumping over a motorcycle going, like, 100 down a highway. It was wild.
How about the redneck hillbillies? I bet they've got something down south. Like, I guarantee you they've got some interesting vehicle/animal videos that they post up. I don't know. That's something. You've gone down a rabbit hole I haven't gone down yet. That's what I'm going to have to do off air. Like, I bet you there's some entertainment to be had there. I don't know. Have you ever hit anything? I've hit a donkey before, and I've hit a deer before.
How do you hit a donkey? Where are you driving?
In Parker, on the California side of the river. It was at night. I was coming. It was high school. I was probably doing things I shouldn't have been doing. But I clipped a donkey with my truck. No joke.
So I do have a funny story. This is not like no donkey, but I was a little girl at the track, Grunthal, our home track. I must have been on like 6 to 5. At practice day. It was a Wednesday practice day with my dad. Well, I ran over a gopher, and I felt horrible, and I made my dad bury it and have a funeral. And here's my dad having to stuff in the side of the track and dig a hole and bury this gopher. Yeah,
Oh, my gosh. Do you have, like, the full funeral, like, all the people that were racing, like, show up and, like, give their condolences?
No, I think my dad just wanted to keep it, like, closed casket. He's going out, like, this is the end. But I felt horrible.
Kim Hood's like, we need to keep this under wraps. That's great.
Yeah, it was a sad day.
It was definitely a sad day. So, yeah. Oh, man, we go down some rabbit holes on this shit.
The event, you're there now. What's going on? How's it going? I mean, you're live in the action, so you got to tell us about, what's going on.
Yeah, it's... Oh, man. All right. Well, yeah, we're streaming live on Facebook for the first time ever. If you guys are listening in national syndication on networks around the country, that would be a Wednesday. Yeah, we're not streaming live on Facebook. We're also streaming live.
I'm not there, though. You guys don't get me. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So, no, it's not video. We got people already asking, hey, are you guys going to do live video? This is just strictly audio stream on Facebook. So we're working on the video. Maybe that one we'll reserve for when Amy's actually here or something. But, yeah, we're thank you guys for doing that. If you're not, you can always skip over there and tune in on Facebook Live. But we are going to take a short break. We come back. We got some Supercross, some King of the Hammers, probably some more Parker 425 to talk about. I don't know. We got a lot coming at you today, but it's going to be one heck of a fun show. More after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it, so when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of Razor vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a Razor 170 like me, take the entire family out in a Razor XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new Razor XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris Razor. Check out the full Polaris Razor lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. Are you looking for a place to push yourself behind the wheel and see how your driving skills stack up? Dirtfish Rally School is that place. Located on 315 acres of pristine automotive playground at the foot of the Cascade Mountains in Snoqualmie, Washington, right outside of Seattle, Dirtfish Rally School is a one-of-a-kind place where everyone from first-time drivers to seasoned professionals like Bucky Lassick and Antoine Lestage can push themselves to their limit. Whether driving the high-performance rally-prepped all-wheel drive Subaru Impreza STI is what you're looking for, or you'd rather hang it all out in the rear-wheel drive Subaru BRZs, Dirtfish Rally School has something for everyone. Classes are available from 2 hours to 3 full days and feature instructors with over 150 years of combined racing experience. Whether you're looking to become the best and get an edge on the competition, or just looking to freshen your skills behind the wheel, Dirtfish Rally School is the place to go. For more information on registering for classes, visit Dirtfish on the web at dirtfish.com, or to check out the latest happenings from Dirtfish, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Dirtfish Rally. Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Like what you hear? Catch all the back episodes of the Down and Dirty Radio Show on Apple Podcast, and be sure to rate, review, and subscribe.
All right, we are back here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Before we get back to things, I got to tell you guys about one thing that our good friends at AMSOIL are doing, and it's a massive giveaway. And you know what? You want to talk about bucket lists? Let's talk about your bucket list. You know what should be on it? It's a trip to one of the greatest spectacles in all of motorsports, the Indy 500. Not just any trip, but the ultimate Indy 500 fan experience. And that's exactly what AMSOIL, maker of some of the best synthetic motor oils on the planet, is giving away this spring. One grand prize winner will win the trip of a lifetime to the Indy 500 to watch the fastest cars and best drivers battle to have their names etched alongside the greats like Foyt, Andretti, Unser, and Castroneves. That's not all. Listen to what else awaits the grand prize winner. Pit access, dinner with an Indy 500 legend, VIP track access, suite access to watch the race, $1,000 in cash, round-trip airfare for two to and from Indianapolis, Indiana, hotel accommodations for 2 for 5 nights near the Speedway, ground transportation to and from the airport, and chance to meet the drivers. Just like they do when they're making high-performance synthetic motor oils, AMSO went the extra mile with this sweepstakes. That's not enough. 10 first-place winners will receive 1 free digital download code for Monster Energy Supercross, the official video game. To enter AMSO Ultimate Indy 500 Fan Experience, text INDY, that's INDY, to 41487. That's INDY, INDY, to 41487, or visit amsoil.com/Indy. And Amy Houde, you know what I just thought about during the break? We got to get off the killing animals in cars topic, but I had one last year in testing in the trophy truck, and it was dove hunting season, and we were out testing, and I was probably going about 80 miles an hour, and I had a dove come through the middle of the front windshield, and it hit my face shield, splattered blood on the edge of my face shield, and then flew into the back and got caught in the shroud or the screen that protects the radiator from catching all kinds of crap. It literally dove was just splattered everywhere. I totally forgot about that, but we're down that rabbit hole. We just got to keep talking about it.
Okay, well, let's jump gears. While we're on our topics of cool stories, by any chance, have you had the opportunity to watch the little Junior Red Rider video that's going viral on Instagram about this little girl who is racing? Her name is Lana. I'm going to try to get her last name for you, but I'm going to share you the video. Her name is Lana McNeil, and she is in the 4 to 8 class, and she must have fallen 100 times and keeps picking her bike back up and keeps going, and then crosses the finish line, and the crowd goes absolutely wild. But Arena Cross actually posted it and commented on, this is what never settling looks like. This little 4-year-old girl who's like an influencer now.
She's
and
only
a role
4,
model
huh?
to everybody. And and just keeps picking her bike up, keeps going, and man, like that. I hope my kid is that cool. Jim, I'm sharing it with you.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see this thing. So people tuning in, where can they find this at, Houde? I know you're texting it to me as we're on air, but where can people find this at?
I'm sending it on my Instagram page, so you guys can come take a look and check it out on there.
Okay.
So
I see how you work that. You're just trying to get an
it's
Instagram plug in there.
It's so cool. Show your kids. Like, if my kid don't do that, like, you got to, get back on the track and try again. My dad always stressed how important just finishing the race was. Even if I was having a terrible time and I was dead last, I was like, I got arm pump or I crashed. He said it was always important just to finish. Because you get that feeling of accomplishment when you do. It's not, and sometimes that's the biggest battle and challenge you will overcome is not necessarily winning the race, but being able to actually muster up the courage and determination to finish. Yeah. And it's a big strength that you will learn that will help you later in life.
Well, and that's one thing I've learned too, just in anything, when I talk about that in Baja, a lot of times, everybody wants to talk about, if you won a Baja overall, I'm like, man, if you can just go finish the Baja 500 or the 1000, I don't care if it's 40 hours, that's an accomplishment. Sometimes it's not, it's all about the experience, it's not necessarily about how you place, and I think a lot of people forget that. But for that little girl at 4 to have that kind of, drive and determination, that's so rad. So,
good parenting. I'm going to say that right there. I was checking out her parents' posts. I hope I'm going to share the link for this show to them so they can hear, but they had a post of the mom and the dad and the 2 daughters all on bikes lined up side by side. And I said, wow, that little girl is going to have a career like I have. And, I can kind of reminisce because I spent every weekend at the track with my parents. Yeah. And, I got to grow up riding with my dad. So it wasn't like, you got to be the best. You got to be the fastest. My dad got it. It was have fun and finish. And the rest comes along with it, And then if you want to go fast, you end up going fast. But if you want to enjoy what you're doing and enjoy riding a dirt bike, then by all means, that's okay too.
Yep.
But I think like she's getting a really cool foundation from her parents that I love the internet. You can socially stalk people and see what they're all about. And
socially stalk
and yeah,
people.
just shout out to you guys, to Lana, McNeil, and your parents. You are awesome chick, and you're going to go really far.
Yeah, that's super rad. I love stories like that. So we got to talk, man. We got so much crap to cram in here. We're going to talk Parker 425 later on. Probably some King of the Hammers here coming up. We got to talk real quick though. We got to talk about some Supercross. I didn't get to really tune in because I was out at the race. But El Hombre, Jason Anderson, he keeps. El Hombre's dominating Houde.
I know, and he like came from behind, made a dirty pass on Marvin. A lot of talk about it, but Marvin, apparently he did it last weekend too, and Marvin's not in it for the championship. So he's like, I let it go last weekend, but, it's not okay this weekend. I had some choice words, and if Marvin Muscan is going to get angry, then I think you better back off,
I'm kind of scared. Like, that's like Mickey Mouse getting mad or something. And I mean that in a good way, but, like, Marvin's not the guy you see get fired up.
Did you read the interview?
What's that? No, I
read the interview. It's hilarious because he's like, I was mad, but it's okay. Like, I don't think that guy has a mean bone in his body.
Well, and here's a question for you: Red Bull KTM, and I got some really good friends there at the team. I know you do too. But like, is there a deal? Like, I mean, Jason Anderson, he's got a bit of an edge, right? El Hombre, and and you got guys like Bam Bam Barsha, but it seems like the guys on Red Bull KTM, they're proper. Like Ryan Dungey, Marvin, like they toe the line.
The rock stars are like a little rough around the edges.
Yeah, but is that like a Red Bull KTM deal? Like the clean cut image. It's like
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a very reputable brand, and like I know Jason's been with Rockstar forever. Like I remember him back in the day when we were kids, and like we were really close with the Rockstar rep, and they have a great relationship, and it kind of fits his lifestyle a little bit more. He's a little rough around the edges, and I feel like Rockstar always attaches himself with the leaders of the pack, the Ryan Dungeys, the Ken Roxons, and even in any other sport, the Mark McMorrises, Snow, and anywhere you look at an elite level, Lindsey Vonn, they're with the best. And usually when you are in front and you are number one, there's obviously a very big image to uphold. Like once you get with Wasserman and once you get an agent, if you're the lead dog, there comes a standard in professional sports now. Extreme sports isn't just chugging like a rock star and, smoking a J and crushing, a thing of vodka. They're changing, and it was. It was. You go to X Games and that's all it was. But now it's on such an elite level. And look at Ken Roxon is trying to change the game and trying to show the world, by showing up in a suit at
Swagger.
At the press conference. Yeah. Because it's not a joke. He takes it serious, and he's there to perform and to be, a champion, not like some party down, let's crush Red Bull all night. Yeah. And I like that. I think it's awesome. But I do find a place that, obviously, look at Monster's lineup. They got Twitch, they got, I can't believe Behrman switched, but Behrman's on Red Bull now. That's a big deal.
Behrman is on Red Bull?
Black sheep. He's the black sheep. Yeah, Behrman just got a Red Bull
Mr.
deal.
Weed Maps Behrman? How does Weed Maps and Red Bull fit together? I mean, seriously, let's talk here.
He's the black sheep, red-headed stepchild who is awesome, but is the black sheep, red-headed child.
He's a badass. I love Tyler.
You know what? I hope that brand pushes Behrman to conform a little bit in like an adult way. Like not, Weed Maps is a thing. That's his thing. Like I understand people like medicinal marijuana for their reasons, not mine, but he's not all in people's face about it. And I hope that this Red Bull deal helps him grow up as an athlete and represent himself, because now he is the best. He's one of the best freestyle motocrossers or free riders. And I think if he were to get out of and he has an extreme rock star, bad boy party animal repertoire, I hope and think that Red Bull will help shape him into the Robbie Madisons, Yeah. Robbie was rough before, and now he's a very, leading man in the industry. And I think hopefully Behrman's on that path too.
Yeah.
I hope.
We got to get Tyler back on. Well, it's been probably like 2 years since he's been on the show, right? I mean, I'm trying to think
I
back.
know.
Like, it's been
We tried to get him on last time, but he was cruising around Europe on a different time zone. So.
Yeah, it's been a long time since Behrman's been on here, but that's one we got to, especially if he signed a Red Bull deal. Like, I hadn't heard that. I've been off the grid for a week with Parker 425 stuff, so I need to catch up on my news. But
it's hard to keep up with everybody nowadays.
It's crazy.
I find it's getting harder and harder to, like, I got to go manually look up my friends' Instagram accounts to stay up to date with people.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's gnarly. And especially, like, watching so many different kinds of motorsports like we both have to now, it's like, holy crap, stuff just slips through the cracks. But one thing that isn't slipping through the cracks is Jordan Anderson, who is our next guest. He's going to be coming up after the break. Here is one of my favorite guys in all of motorsports. He's got one hell of a story. He is racing NASCAR Camping World trucks. I know we were talking NASCAR on the show, right? But he's a badass. Never had a silver spoon. And this guy makes it happen behind the scenes. And I'm really excited to get him on air, talk about his program for 2018 and how he puts everything together. That's coming up here after the break. So if you got any questions for Jordan Anderson, if you got any questions for CJ Hutchins, man, anything for Amy or I, definitely hit us up on Twitter or in the comments on Facebook, and we'll get those in. I see here on Facebook we got a couple of them about Ronnie Anderson and the RS1 Polaris. We're definitely going to be talking about that with Ronnie on. So definitely stay tuned here to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. We'll be back after this break. You want extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on four wheels? The Polaris Razor brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris Razor because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team Razor because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris Razor because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRazor.com or follow at Polaris Razor on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RazorLife to share your story. Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights.
Life is all about sound. The sound of sports. The sound of the racetrack. And the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Thanks for tuning in to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, available live online, in syndication on networks across the U.S., and available internationally on the American Forces Network.
And we are back here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver and Amy Houde welcoming Jordan Anderson to the line. How's everything going, Jordan?
Hello.
Hey, what's up, guys? How are y'all?
Oh, doing
Good. How are you?
Doing well, man. I gotta say, here's a weird tie-in, but I'm looking at it. I'm going, it's been a good week to be somebody with last name of Anderson. I know, like in my world, we got my boy Ronnie Anderson just took a big win in a brand new Polaris Razor debut, and then you got El Hombre, Jason Anderson. He's winning Supercross. We got you and your massive announcement. I'm like, man, this is like a good week to be an Anderson.
Kristen Anderson, daughter of the Dennis Anderson, she just got her first event win of the season, too.
In Monster
Man,
Jam?
the Andersons are on fire.
So
I love it. It's so cool to see some. We may even have some relation out there somewhere, but now it's been a super awesome week, and we're stoked to get the 18 season underway, and it's definitely exciting. A lot of good things going on, and racing season is getting ready to kick off. So I know hopefully everybody listening in is excited to get the racing year underway.
Yeah, it's definitely. I'm excited for you, man. I know at the end of last year, like there was a little bit of gray area, and we're going to talk about your approach to sponsorship in a minute. But it was a bit of a gray area, and then to have your announcement, to have that out there now. Hey, I'm going racing, and it's not just for one event. Like, hey, we got a commitment to run the full season this year. I mean, that's got to feel really good right now for you.
It definitely does. And it's something that we've worked really hard for. This will be my my fourth full year running the NASCAR Truck Series, and it's kind of become home for me. Me and my guys, we're kind of old school racers. We work in the shop. Our team basically consists of me and 3 other guys. That's it. That's our crew. There's the 4 of us, and we didn't buy a single airplane ticket last year. We drove to every single race we went to, and we're doing the same thing this year. We've just stepped our program up. We've got 4 trucks now. We've got a super speedway truck, intermediate short track truck, and a road course truck. So we've got some options to go racing with now, building up our inventory. And, so much of what we fought through last year was we had one truck. We ran the entire season. We ran all 20 races with just one truck last year. And you kind of got to find that edge between being the aggressive race car driver that I want to be and making sure you take care of your equipment. So we're and I'm sure Amy knows the same thing. You got to find that balance sometimes. And, that's kind of one thing we're excited about this year is being able to do some more racing. We've got some great partners that have stepped up, and I love the history of NASCAR and the old ways of the sport, and being able to kind of keep the fans kind of the old school way of driving to all our races, and me and the guys working on our trucks, and we just love it. And the opportunity to do things like that is awesome.
Yeah, well, and
I hold on, Jim. I wanted to.
All right, go for it.
I've gotten a firsthand experience of, being able to drive on someone else's dime versus we have 2 independent tour on our tour, and the best thing about it is, Matt Cody, who drives Blue Thunder, probably goes out there and drives that truck with more heart than any of us because, everything is on his dime. He's traveling every weekend with his family in a rig and his crew and in the parking lots, and but he has to watch how he drives, and he has to minimize, the damage and everything. And I can see the more of an emotional side that goes along with him, but it's really made me appreciate what I have. And, obviously with you coming from, the bottom up, I think that's the best way because you actually get to appreciate what you have. No kid who gets a factory ride or daddy pays for every dirt bike that they had, will understand how awesome it is to get, anything in this sport. It's such a saturated market. I feel like that is the coolest way to appreciate every aspect of your job,
Definitely, and I really appreciate that. And it's kind of cool to talk about going through the highs and lows of racing, and that's what I love about our sport so much, whether you're in motocross or NASCAR or monster trucks ripping it up out there, or you're in open wheel cars, whatever it is, racing has this way of bringing out an incredible spectrum of emotions through all that you go through. And that's one thing that we kind of went through last year was that at Atlanta, our second race of the season, we got tangled up with another driver, and it wrecked our truck. We got destroyed, and I remember getting interviewed after the race was over, and I basically told the guy, I was like, our season's done. This is our only truck. We've got our next race in 3 weeks, and I don't see how we're going to do this. I don't have the money to fix this truck. This was a truck we were planning on racing all year, and And that was I think Jim was going to kind of bring it up. One of the interesting ways that we've been able to build this team is we created a Fuel by Fans program, basically kind of a crowdfunding way for fans to get involved with our race car. And we had enough people step up through that fan program that helped build us a new truck last year, and that ultimately throughout the season let us get this new team started up for me to run and start my own team up this year. So I think that's what's so cool, is being able to have that emotional side to it. Like you said, you invest everything you have in it. I mean, there's nights where we're at the shop till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and then you're back at it the next day doing whatever it takes to survive, and it's just cool to have people want to be a part of what it is that we're doing.
Yeah, and talking about that, and I think it's interesting because one of my really close friends in motorsport, and him and I are kind of cut from the same cloth, and I'm just listening to your story going, man, you were right there with us, is Steve Arpin. But Steve and I we're grinders, and it's like you said, when every time I'm out on the track in my trophy truck or in one of my razors or whatever I'm racing, and I'm going into pass, and it's like I'm visualizing going, so if I put this fender on this guy, which I should right now, there goes $300. And I'm like, so I'm going to have to pay for that after the race. So it's dictated how I actually drive, because I know it's coming out of my pocketbook, but like you said, it's kind of an interesting parallel there, but it seems, but you've got the fans involved. And I think that's what's really, really awesome for you, is you've got them involved, you've got their backing, and, it's like, you've got that support system there with the fans, and, everything you do on track, they're feeling it because they're a part of the program as well.
Yeah,
exactly. And you mentioned Steve there. We've actually got a mutual sponsor that we share between the two of us. That's they've been a partner of ours the past couple of seasons with Jacob Companies.
Yeah.
But like you said, from a racing standpoint, man, it's so crazy. And I'll go back on that Fuel by Fans deal. It first got started back in 2016. We had blown a motor, and we were struggling to figure out how to get to the next race. And I reached out on Twitter and posted a post on Reddit and a couple other places, and a few fans said, hey, if you can create a way where we can kind of help crowdfund this deal, we want to support you. We may be able to do, $20 or $100, and some people that had companies are like, we'll do $500 here, and we've got some corporate sponsors to help it, but sometimes you kind of run into little crazy things like a blown motor or a crash or something, and we started SponsorJordan.com was the website that got fired up from that whole thing, and it was actually a fan's idea to do it all. And that was a neat thing. And through that, we've got people that are being loyal to the partners that help my program. They're buying their product, they're pushing it, and they're helping our program grow. And it's 2018. Awesome. I think is going to be a pivotal year for us. And it's exciting to see the opportunities that we're having and the people that are behind us, and to have NASCAR support when we did our unveiling last week. It's definitely, and I know the word is so overused, but I'm actually really, really excited to see how this year is going to go for us.
Yeah, and I'm excited too, man, because I'm just looking at it going,
me too now.
This is like your year, you know what I mean? I think this is, not that you need a breakthrough year. I mean, everybody at this point knows who Jordan Anderson is, but I feel like, you've got the, some funding in place. You've got multiple trucks. I feel like, you've got a little bit of slack this year, where I feel like in years past you didn't have that slack, you know what I mean? And I feel like you can go out there and drive, and you don't necessarily we're always concentrating on the sponsorship side and the money side of things, but I feel like this year you can actually go out and concentrate more on driving on track instead of having to worry about, the business side away from it, right?
No, definitely. And that's one thing that's so cool about motorsports in general, is the relationships you build with people. And I know the team name is Jordan Anderson Racing this year, but if it weren't for all the awesome people that are behind the scenes that have shown their belief in me and have sacrificed their time and helped make connections and help put the pieces together for this all to come to reality, I wouldn't be at the racetrack. And that's the thing that I love about all the people that we meet. And that's one of the really cool things that we do driving my hauler cross country, is a lot of times, like, we've got a stretch coming up. I think our 5th and 6th race of the year will go to Iowa and then St. Louis. We're going to go over to Kenny Wallace's modified shop. Nice. And we're going to work on our NASCAR race truck there in his garage. So we're going to go from Phoenix to Miami later in the year. I got a buddy that races dirt late models in Louisiana. We're going to work out of his shop. And that's such the cool thing about going cross country. And I know Amy says sometimes it's a parking lot, that we got to work on our truck, but we got a lot of friends and people that we've met over the years, and relationships that we've built. And, I know Kelly Wilmore was the one that kind of introduced you and I, Jim, people like her and Robbie Pierce that we first met them through racing, and now they're like family. And that's the thing that's so cool about this is with that Fueled by Fans program, I got family members that may not be blood, but I got people that I call family from here to California, even up in Canada. And it's so cool to see the relationships and stories and adventures that going racing like we do provide.
Yeah, no, I'm already thinking, I'm like, man, we got to do like a regular Jordan Anderson segment on this show, like just about your adventure across country or something like that, like a bi-weekly segment, like the adventures of Jordan Anderson or something like that. Like I'm already thinking in my mind, like we gotta be able to tell this story because, like you said, like anybody who works in motorsports and travels and is on the road for 30+ weekends a year, man, it's like you said, the family aspect, but just the stuff that happens away from the track and the stories, it's so amazing, and to be able to tell those, it's pretty wild. But we got to switch gears. We got to talk about Daytona because we're what, a week and a half away from Daytona. Man, I mean, anytime you mention Daytona, it's a big deal. I don't care if it's Truck Series, Xfinity, the 24 hours, Supercross. It doesn't matter. Daytona is just Daytona, right? I mean, that's got to get your blood pumping. Just knowing, hey, Daytona's coming up.
No, it does, and it's been a love-hate relationship with Daytona and I the past couple of years. We actually had some issues in qualifying last year. We didn't make the show, and the year before that, we actually got the last transfer spot in the race and had made our way up, and we actually ran fourth for probably 90 laps down there, and it looked like we were en route to a solid top 5 finish back in 2016 and had a rear gear blow up on us. So we're definitely going down there for some redemption this year. We've bought a Toyota truck, super speedway truck from a team from last year, and we've actually got owner points that we acquired from Brad Keselowski's team last year. So we're going to be able to go down to Daytona where we got a guaranteed lock in the show runs. And Daytona that's like you said earlier, the spectacle behind it. That is our Super Bowl of the year. That is the biggest race for us this season, and it really is such a race that has a dynamic unlike any other because of the element of drafting. To where it really levels out the playing field in that draft. You can take a truck that may not be the best one in the wind tunnel, but if you've got a guy that knows how to suck up and follow the draft and really take advantage of that, you could put yourself in a good spot to get a top 5 or maybe even pull that pass off in the last lap for a win. So I'm excited about it. I love the super speedway racing. Whether it's Daytona or Talladega. It's such a feeling unlike any other when you're in a draft with 35 other trucks. And you're all nose to tail, 3 wide, going through a corner at Daytona. It's a feeling unlike any other, and it really does provide a kind of an element of challenge and unexpectedness because the big one is everyone always calls it the big crash that always happens, trying to keep your nose clean and stay out of trouble and get yourself a good finish. So it's going to be exciting, and they've actually added a new race to our first 3 races this year. We're going to run Daytona, Atlanta, and after Atlanta we're going to load up and head to the West Coast and go race at Las Vegas for our 3rd race of the year. So we're really hoping that we can start the year off strong and get a good finish at Daytona and then follow it up with good runs at Atlanta and Vegas. But Daytona, I'll never forget the first time I ran there back in 2015, going through the gears, coming off pit road, and made my way up onto the track on the back stretch. And as a kid growing up, I first told my mom and dad that I wanted to be in racing when I was, I think, 4 or 5 years old. And as a kid growing up in South Carolina watching NASCAR, Jeff Gordon was my favorite driver back in the day. You always dream about Daytona. That's any guy that wants to be a race car driver. That was kind of like my dream as a kid. And to finally have that reality happen back in 2015 was cool. So anytime you drive through those tunnels there, like you said, whether you're you're going to run an ARCA race or trucks or Xfinity or motocross or whatever it is, when you pull into the gates there at Daytona, just the history and the legacy that place has is so huge that one day hopefully can etch my name in the record books of getting a win there. That would be pretty incredible.
Yeah, definitely, man. And I'm excited for Daytona coming up. Good, best of luck to you. Appreciate you taking the time to call in. We got to go to a commercial break, man. But definitely stay in touch. Love to get you back on throughout the year.
Hey, definitely. Thank you and Amy for having me on. And I think we'll definitely have to get creative. And I'd love to come back on air and share some more of our cross-country travels with you. That'd be a good one. So we got Vegas coming up. Tom Bogan and I from Lucas Oil were talking about after our race in Vegas, we may drive out to California and go hang out with those guys for a couple of days. So that might be a good time that we'll share some stories from our trip out west.
Yeah, that'd definitely be fun, man. I'll have to shoot you a text, or we'll have to chat off air, and we'll definitely make something happen, buddy.
All right, see you guys. Thanks again for having me on. I really appreciate it.
All right, thanks, Jordan. And we'll be back after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it, so when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of Razor vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a Razor 170 like me, take the entire family out in a Razor XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new Razor XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris Razor. Check out the full Polaris Razor lineup at Polaris.com, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
They gained international success with their Grammy Award-winning song, Heaven. See Los Lonely Boys with featured artist Lisa Morales. Live Saturday, March 24th on the Amphitheater stage at the Blue Water Resort and Casino. Gates open at 6 p.m. Show starts at 7 p.m. General admission now $29. $39 the day of the show. Or VIP tickets only $59. Tickets on sale now.
Blue Water Resort and Casino. Right on the water. Right on the money.
You're listening to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. All killer and no filler.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Got some quick updates from King of the Hammers coming at you right now, and we had King of the Motos already signed, sealed, and delivered, and Cody Webb taking home that victory. He took all 3 race wins and ended up taking the overall. And then Colton Haker, solid effort there in second place. Rounding out your podium was Max Gerston out of Phoenix. Had a 4th, a 3rd, and a 6th. Ended up taking the 3rd spot on the podium. So, man, Cody Webb, the guy just dominates Hood. Enduro Cross, King of the Motos. It's like Colton Haker had this year a couple years ago, and now it's like Cody Webb's turn this past year. It seems like it's like we've got a switch, changing the guards going on or something.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that guy's an animal anyways. Whatever he ends up doing, like, he's always the leader of the pack. It's pretty crazy watching him kind of come into the scene and just, the few short years, he's just been so dominant. But, I mean, who is giving him a run for his money? Like, who is his biggest competition? Because that's the only guy I ever hear about.
Colton Haker, and Colton's like, Mr. Gold medalist in X Games and everything else, and like he's the competition, right? And it's like Colton, he's one of the best in the world, and it's like he doesn't have anything for Cody Webb right now. Cody's just riding that strong. But looking at the UTV race presented by HCR, qualifying going down, races tomorrow, Wednesday. If you're listening nationally, that's today. But Johnny Greaves sitting on the pole, CJ Greaves in second, and Casey Curry in the third spot. So you had Sean Stroud and Mitch Guthrie Jr. Mitchie, my boy Mitchie, he's top 5 there. So solid start. But, man, those Greaves are just dominating out there at King of the Hammers in the UTV. So looking at the schedule, obviously today, Tuesday, tomorrow we've got Wednesday, we've got the UTV race, and Thursday we got the Everyman Challenge, and then Friday is the big one, the King of the Hammers powered by Optimus batteries. That is coming up on Friday. So they're doing a lot of live streaming at ultra4racing.com as well as on Facebook. You guys can keep it tuned in there and keep locked and loaded for all the latest from Hammertown. But we're going to take a short break. We come back. We got some Best in the Desert Park 425 results brought to you by our good friends at General Tire. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Thanks for tuning in to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, available live online, in syndication on networks across the U.S., and available internationally on the American Forces Network.
All right, welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. We got some quick Best in the Desert results in this quick hit segment, brought to you by our good friends at General Tire, reminding you that anywhere is possible. And, man, it was a big weekend for General Tire out there at the Best in the Desert event. A couple of victories, one from C.J. Hutchins in Class 1500, and we had Jeff Proctor in Class 7200 taking wins for General Tire as well. But looking at the morning race overall results, Doug Fortin in what amounts to a 10-year-old Class 1 car with a smaller engine, and he ended up taking the victory, I think second overall, including trophy trucks and 1 cars in a Class 10. Crazy good fast weekend for Doug Fortin. Brock Hager, he finished up in second in the morning race and in Class 10, and then Wheeler Morgan, he took the third overall in that morning race. Looking down the results for that morning race, Class 6000 winner was Ryan Winner. We had Class 5000, it was Travis Chase on General Tires. And finishing up that morning race, Class 3000, it was Mike Jams with the victory, and Sean Whalen with the victory in Class 7100. Now looking at the afternoon race, where we had hamburger being made and a whole lot of other stuff. But Andy McMillan once again taking the victory. You know, we would have had Andy on today, but I think we had him on like 6 or 8 times last year. So he's like winning everything. But Andy McMillan taking the victory yet again. Brett Serapis in second. Justin Matney, my boy Justin, finishing up in third overall and third in Trick Truck. Class 1500, it was C.J. Hutchins once again on General Tire, 6th overall, and your winner in Class 1500. Looking down the results, 6100 winner went to Andrew Whitehead. And let's see here, 7200, it was Jeff Proctor on those General Tires. And that wraps up your afternoon race. So congrats goes out to all the winners of the Best in the Desert Parker 425. Thanks to our good friends at General Tire for sponsoring those results. And, man, we've got our next segment coming up with our good friend Joe Duncan right after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. You want extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on 4 wheels? The Polaris Razor brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris Razor because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team Razor because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris RZR because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris RZR because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRZR.com or follow at Polaris RZR on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RazorLife to share your story. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle and Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
They gained international success with their Grammy Award-winning song, Heaven. See Los Lonely Boys with featured artist Lisa Morales. Live Saturday, March 24th on the amphitheater stage at the Blue Water Resort and Casino. Gates open at 6 p.m. Show starts at 7 p.m. General admission now $29. $39 the day of the show. Or VIP tickets only $59. Tickets on sale now.
Blue Water Resort and Casino. Right on the water, right on the money.
Thanks for tuning in to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, available live online in syndication on networks across the U.S. and available internationally on the American Forces Network.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Jim Beaver, Amy Houde here, joined on the line by Joe Duncan. This is our Optimus. Our Terracross Starts with Optimus segment, brought to you by our good friends at Optimus Starters, starting every Terracross RZR on the grid there in the Terracross Championship. But welcome to the line, Joe Duncan. You are a Minnesota boy, and it was definitely a big weekend for Minnesota with a Super Bowl going on. Yeah, Levi doing some backflips. Were you downtown for Levi's backflips? Did you make it down there?
Me and the girls, my girls went down and got to watch it. As you know, I got a little sick there after X Games, so I was kind of laid up for a few days. But we weren't gonna miss that. So we got down there, found a nice parking spot about a block away in a parking ramp, which I don't know how we pulled that off. And got down there about 45 minutes before the jump. Hung out, got to watch the jump. Really cool setup. Those guys did a great job, Polaris and Levi and his crew, and it just looked really good. And it was kind of cool to be sitting on the outside listening to all the people talk about it, all the talk about X Games and how they know Levi, and obviously a bunch of BSers all saying that they would do that. I think they thought differently once they saw what was happening, but it was really cool. Gave just that added splash to the 10 days of Super Bowl festivities that were here. Polaris did a great job of having a bunch of their different products down there, and it was really cool. Levi did awesome as always, and pulled off one hell of a show.
That's Levi. He just, and you know what's funny about Levi? And I saw this at when he did his jump at Houde's, the 200-foot jump at Houde's, right? He's literally like 2 minutes from doing this massive jump. And I'm looking at it going, there's no way I would even attempt it on anything. Like, it's too damn far. And here's Levi, guy can die 2 minutes from now. And he's sitting there high-fiving and hugging me, and we're talking about, just something so random like wakeboarding or something. And I'm like, and then it was just within 30 seconds, he's like, all right, I got to go jump, Jimmy. Switch flipped. He goes over there, jumps on his sled, uber focused, jumps 200 feet. And I've never seen somebody who can flip a switch, who's going to do something so death defying, and it's just boom, he can flip the switch and just be on.
So nonchalant. It's like a trip to the gas station. It's like, oh, all right, gotta go do this, get it done.
Yeah.
That's the difference between Levi and us and many, many, many other people, is that he plans, he prepares, he executes. He comes into that thing, any of these, the best that you could be prepared, and he knows what he's doing, how he's doing it. So when he actually goes to do that stunt, that trick, that explosive event, when he goes to do it, he's already got it down. That's why he can do that and be that way, because of his preparation and his planning and his team and his confidence and everybody that he's surrounded by. So it's cool watching him come into an event like this or X Games, where he does prepare, he does have it set up the way he wants it, and he knows that he's going to execute. That's why he can talk to us like nothing's going on, where we'd be, scared shitless.
Yeah.
And he also has no fear. He is fearless at one. If there is something that could be done, he will do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
If it's something he can train for sure.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny because we had this conversation when Levi was on a week or two back, and we were talking about something, and I think I introduced him as my craziest friend, and he goes, well, I'm not your craziest friend. He goes, that's Travis. And I'm like, well, we had this debate, and I'm like, well, I told him, I said, Levi, I think you guys are both equally nuts. I said, you're just a little bit more calculated in your nuts. I said, Travis just goes out and does stuff. I said, you'll go and do the same thing, but you'll just think about it before you go and do it. I said, Travis just goes and does it. And I said, so you guys are both equally as crazy, but I said, you're just more calculated in your craziness. And I think that's and I think that sums him up pretty well. He's nuts, but he's calculated in it.
Exactly. No, really cool event. I'm really proud of our state and our cities. That it was a huge success with the Super Bowl here. A lot of very, very happy people. Leaving the city and having a great experience. I mean, it was -6 degrees one morning, and it was -3 during one of the concerts at night, and it didn't stop people from having a great time. The city was prepared, the community, the volunteers. I mean, it was a really cool, for a guy like myself that's done events for 20 plus years, and to see an event of this magnitude and for it to be pulled off the way it did, and adverse weather circumstances. They got snow the morning of Levi's jump. They've got cold weather, but everything that could be done or was done was perfect, and that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It's why Summer X Games are here. They're at US Bank Stadium, so to have that Summer X Games last year, Super Bowl, Summer X Games again this year, I mean, that's a pretty big, pretty cool thing to be a part of and be 25, 30 minutes away from.
Yeah, it seems like Minnesota is becoming a mecca for just all things sports, motorsports, action sports, stick and ball sports. I mean, it's actually pretty remarkable. I mean, and obviously they've got, the new stadiums there with, Target Field,
yeah,
and then US Bank Stadium. But you look at Supercross, motocross, you've got, the tracks at Elk River, like X Games. I mean, There's a lot happening. I know there's skate parks springing up, that I know of there in the cities and things like that, Joe. I mean, it's weird that, a state, like normally you wouldn't picture the Midwest as a mecca for this type of stuff, but Minnesota, man, you guys are embracing it, and it's really, really starting to grow.
Especially a state that has 6 months of winter. Yeah. You guys don't get a lot of time with actual summer sports. But, another thing that I think why Minnesota is really attracting and adopting, these big events is the city is beautiful. And it's such a great venue for fans and, spectators. It's not fun when you go to a venue that, you don't feel safe walking around. There's no restaurants. There's nothing to see. Like Minneapolis, downtown Minneapolis is amazing. Like, I love it there. So much architecture and food and culture. Like, it's a great city. And the new U.S. Bank Stadium is fantastic. So I love it there.
Yeah, and everything around it now is being rebuilt and reconstructed, and it's just a cool place to be, whether it's during a big event or just going down there for a night on the town. It's a cool place.
Yeah.
So pretty proud of the city and all the Minnesota people that pulled this thing off. And I know a lot of people, weirdly enough, as a non-football fan that I am, I know a lot of people in the football world and NFL world that were here, and it was cool to see and hear some of their comments and that they embraced it and had a great time and can't wait to come back again. So.
Yeah, I got to ask before we let you go, Joe. I know downtown Minneapolis, I was there about a month ago, went up in the Fauché Tower. They've got a bar up there on the top that overlooks the whole city. You been up there before?
Oh, yeah, many a time.
Yeah, it's a good time. That's one of those secret. It's a secret spot that not a lot of people know about, but it's really rad.
It's an old speakeasy spot as well that your Prohibition that was a really cool, out of touch, out of sight, out of mind bar, and now it's a really cool place to go check out.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I appreciate you taking the time, Joe. We'll do it again next week, my friend.
Sounds great. We'll have some Terracross news coming at you next Tuesday. Just lining stuff up this week.
All right, sounds good. Looking forward to it.
All right, thank you.
Thanks. All right, that was Joe Duncan with our Optimus Terracross segment, brought to you by our good friends at Optimus Starters, and we'll be back after this with CJ Hutchins on the line here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it. So when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of Razor vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a Razor 170 like me, take the entire family out in a Razor XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new Razor XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris Razor. Check out the full Polaris Razor lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
They gained international success with their Grammy Award-winning song, Heaven. See Los Lonely Boys with featured artist Lisa Morales. Live Saturday, March 24th on the amphitheater stage at the Blue Water Resort and Casino. Gates open at 6 p.m. Show starts at 7 p.m. General admission now $29. $39 the day of the show. Or VIP tickets only $59. Tickets on sale now.
Blue Water Resort and Casino. Right on the water, right on the money.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI. A 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered, packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
Want the latest from Jim Beaver and Amy Houde? Follow at JimBeaver15 and at AmyHoude71 on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Just waiting on, like clockwork there, he is. Welcome to the line, CJ Hutchins, big winner on the weekend, my General Tire teammate. How's everything going, brother?
Good, awesome. Stoked to finally get that big win in Parker.
Yeah, we gotta talk about that. Like I'm losing track of where your victories have come and where they haven't, because I know like you've won Vegas Torino, you've won some of the big ones. You've got Parker now. What's left on the list, buddy?
I think the only big race I haven't won yet is the Baja 1000. So hopefully we'll be getting that here soon.
Yeah. So, I mean, talking about that, I mean, we got to talk about this weekend, though. We'll get to that first. But obviously, Parker, this one, you and I both know, you can go and pre-run it, and it looks like it's smooth as glass, right? And then all of a sudden they let the 10 cars and the morning classes go, and then by the time the Unlimiteds get there, it's beat. And then by the time we do 3 laps, it's even beat worse. I mean, how did your weekend go? I know you qualified decent. I mean, kind of take us through the weekend. How's everything working with you and those General Tire grabbers?
Yeah, so qualifying went good. I made what I thought was going to be a big mistake during qualifying, and we still ended up 10th overall, which I was super happy with considering I made a mistake. And we started the race, and like you said, even lap 1 for us, even though there is a morning race, lap 1 for us, it's still fairly smooth. You pretty much can go pretty fast everywhere. And coming around that second lap, as soon as you come out of main pit, all of a sudden there's 4-foot squared off holes that just came out of nowhere. So it's pretty crazy how that many unlimited vehicles just make those holes huge. So, we had a good game plan going in, was to just stick to our pace and get the car around to get to the start of the 3rd lap, and that's what we did. And when we got there, we were out front and just stayed there on that last lap. So those General Tire X3s are amazing. I don't have enough good things to say about them. I mean, the traction in the sand is awesome. The traction on the roads is incredible. They're just they're a total game changer on my car, that's for sure. So I'm looking forward to some of these faster races coming up to see if we got a little something for the trucks.
Yeah, well, and I know, too, like on the faster races, and this is just, just in general talking tire technology here, but sometimes with off-road tires, man, you get on high-speed roads and they don't track well. They've got those big, lugs on there, and they're meant for, aggressive traction in the sand and that. But I know one thing I've learned about the X3s is with the way the grooving works, is they actually track really well at high speed. And sometimes cars get floaty depending on your tires, and I feel like the X3s just, without even having to groove them at all, they just track really, really well at high speed.
Yeah, I would agree 100%. I didn't groove my front tires at all. I didn't groove my rear tires at all. And they are really an awesome tire. I was really impressed with that tire. So I'm really happy to see what we can do this year on those tires.
Yeah. So that being said, man, what's the plan for this year for you guys in in your class 1500? I know obviously, a lot of people want to talk about, Class 1, it's dying. Guys are going to, trophy truck or trick truck. And I'm like, I don't know, man. You guys have some stiff competition there. You may not have 50 entries, but you've still got 30 really solid, fast guys. Like, I don't see it being a cakewalk by any means. What's the plans for you guys this year, though, in Class 1 and Class 1500?
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that. There might be a little less entries, but the quality of those entries is up there. There's a lot of fast guys that can win. So there's no such thing as winning an easy race these days. We're planning to, our next race will probably be Silver State and then the Baja 500 in Vegas to Reno, and finished out with the Pahrump race at the end of the year. So that's kind of our plan right now. So.
Yeah, just a good solid mix. It's a little Baja in there. 50th anniversary Baja 500. I know that's when I'm toying with going. Like, I love going down to Baja. It's been a while since I've actually raced down there, but 50th anniversary Baja 500, man, that's I think that's going to be a special one this year, don't you think?
Yeah, there's nothing like racing down in Mexico. I've won the Baja 500 twice, so it would be awesome to get a win in the unlimited class.
Yeah. So, talking about, this past weekend, though, I know, Harley qualified. I don't know, were you the second Class 1500 in qualifying? I think Harley may have been the first one. I can't remember looking at the results off the top of my head, but I know he had a pretty strong run going on, and I know, lap 2, we watched you come around, and you were right in there as well. I mean, how'd the race come to you? I mean, it's like, to me, it seems like everybody's surprised now when you see a Class 1500 car running up there with the trophy trucks. And I mean, especially this course, though, you get in some of that tight technical stuff, and I feel like the 1500 car definitely has an advantage. I mean, where do you think you were able to make up the time? Because overall, I mean, you finished right up there with the top trucks.
Yeah, we ended up 6th overall, which is awesome for a buggy on this rough of a course. We definitely see the pros and cons to it. You'd have a fast truck behind you, and they'd kind of get a little close to you in the rough, and then you get on a road or in a sand wash or something, and we just pull right back away from them. So it's really playing that line of going fast enough to keep them behind you so you're not stuck in their dust, and taking care of your car and making sure you get to the finish with your equipment.
Yeah. So you got to ask, obviously you're a buggy guy. You've been in the buggies for quite a while. I mean, is there any itch there with CJ Hutchins where you're going, yeah, maybe I kind of want to go to a truck at some point, like a 6100 or a trick truck? Or are you pretty solid there in the buggy camp?
I mean, I've always been an open wheel car guy. Started in a 1600 car. I love the buggies. Of course, I think everyone's ultimate goal is to be racing in a trick truck. Unfortunately, that's not in our team's budget to do that. So we race in what we can afford and just try to do our best with what we have.
Yeah, I keep thinking that we need to have like a race. You talked about 1600 cars, and I everybody wants to do it. I don't know how we would ever actually make it happen, but I'd love to have a race where you take like the top trick truck guys and the top class 1500 guys, and you get like 20 identical 1600 cars, and you throw everybody in there and make them run like a 200-mile desert race on like some rough, like horrible, rocky, nasty, like Barstow type course, and see what happens and how everything shakes out. Like, I think that would be so awesome to see like the top guys in the sport all like equalized in a 1600 car just to see how everything shakes out, man.
Yeah, that would for sure be one for the record books. That would be awesome. I think a lot of the unlimited drivers, a lot of them kind of started in the unlimited classes, so there's not a whole lot of them that actually started in limited cars, so it would be interesting to see that play out. Obviously, Rob Mack would be a tough one to beat. I had lots of problems beating that guy when I was racing 1600, but sure learned a lot chasing him around the desert.
Yeah, the guy's tough at anything. Like, it's just, the guy's so quick. But yeah, I think that's one of the funny things. You look at it, and I know, talking about you started out in the limited classes. I know I started out in them. You even look at like the McMillan kids, and Dan and Luke started out in the limited classes, in the limited buggies, and Harley was another one. He started out, in the lower class and worked their way up. And, it was like, all of us that are kind of in our age level, it was like that was the way we were brought into the sport. But like I see some of these kids now that are 16, 17, 18, and they're really fast in an unlimited car, but they never had to go through that ladder system up to the top. And I feel like, I think they miss some things, and I think they don't have an appreciation for what it takes to get to the finish line in a car like that. I feel like there's a lot I learned about, conserving cars and things like that comes into play in an unlimited car, just from my time spent, in the lower classes.
Most definitely. I was always taught smooth is fast, and I think a lot of those younger guys that you're talking about, they don't really understand that because, again, they started in a trophy truck right off the bat. So these trucks are so good, you can just go out there and smash them through every big hole, and the trucks just take it. But I think learning to be smooth and learning to carry your momentum through the turns, and there's a lot more to our sport than just going fast at qualifying.
Yeah, and I completely agree with you there. But appreciate you taking the time to call in, CJ, man. Congrats on the win, and looking forward to seeing you at the next one. And best of luck this season, buddy.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right, thanks a lot, buddy.
Bye.
All right, CJ Hutchins, your Best in the Desert Parker 425 winner in class 1500. My General Tire teammate. I know. Having a solid effort out there. Always fun to catch up with him. It's been a while since we've had him on air. He kind of runs his own program there and bounces around and runs a mix of races from different series. And I don't know, Amy. I mean, we only got like a minute left, but
he's a jack of all trades.
Yeah, he's a jack of all.
Yeah, I like that.
But
one man band.
Yeah, but I want to make the tie-in with you and motocross. I mean, do you feel like there was, like, I know you grew up and you started out on some basic bikes and kind of worked your way up. I mean, do you feel like kids now, like, sometimes they're starting a little bit in over their head, and not going through the routes like they, and getting the proper training they should on slower motorcycles before they just jump all in on a fast bike?
I definitely think so, and I see it when people get on a big bike and they think they're going to become the next Ricky Carmichael in a year. And it's a slow process to build that foundation to be a smart, calculated, skilled rider. Like, it takes years. Like, I lost so many races. But starting at a young age, I knew my comfort zone. I knew where I could push my boundaries, and allowed me to, alleviate getting hurt and winding up trying to send it over a jump that I was not skilled to hit, But
yeah. All right.
Get a foundation.
Yep.
Want to start.
All right, we got to take a short break. We come back. We got Ronnie Anderson on the line here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it. So when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of Razor vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a Razor 170 like me, take the entire family out in a Razor XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new Razor XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris Razor. Check out the full Polaris Razor lineup at Polaris.com, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Do you race or are you a weekend warrior? Have you checked on the date on your helmet recently? Don't get caught off guard by using an outdated helmet. Impact Racing, the leader in motorsport safety, has new SA 2015 helmets to fit your budget. Whether you're looking for a helmet with a full carbon fiber shell to take you to victory at the Indy 500 or just looking for some helmets for a weekend at Glamis, Impact Racing has a helmet for you. Find out more information at impactraceproducts.com or on Facebook at Impact Safety. Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Like what you hear? Catch all the back episodes of the Down and Dirty Radio Show on Apple Podcast, and be sure to rate, review, and subscribe.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'd like to welcome my good friend, Polaris Razor teammate, Ronnie Anderson, to the line, coming off a big win this weekend. How's everything going, Ronnie?
Good. Stoked to be back on the show, and after our big weekend, for sure, for Polaris and myself also.
Yeah, and I got to say, man, that's like you were kind of putting yourself out there. Like a lot of race car drivers wouldn't necessarily do that, but you're taking this brand new unit. I mean, this thing was just announced, a week ago, the RS1 single-seat Razor, and you go and race this thing and it works. I don't know when you guys got that, but you couldn't have had much as far as race prep goes. It had to have been pretty relatively stock, right?
Yeah, it was totally bone stock except some shocks and wheels. The shocks we didn't even test. We just threw them on there and we're like, well, we hope they're pretty good. So the walk-around shocks actually turned out being pretty good. But the Polaris guys kind of came to us and we kind of dreamed up the idea, and we came to them. We're like, hey, first works race. I think it'd be a good idea to come race it. So I was a little nervous coming in, definitely, with have it being a brand new car and just seeing how it was going to shape up with all the turbos and stuff like that. So ended up turning out really good, and stoked for sure.
Yeah, well, and how was that thing? I mean, because I was watching, and obviously, I think RJ posted something on social media a little bit ago, and kind of giving you some major props, and that's saying something coming from Big Brother. But, I mean, this car, dude, it works. It's got some of the best short course competition in the country, maybe even the world, right? And, for this thing to come in there against these full race builds, dude, that was a massive undertaking for you.
Yeah, for sure. It was really cool to get props from my brother always. That's kind of what I strive for, because he's kind of an industry leader and stuff like that. So it's always cool getting props from him. But, yeah, the Works guys are no joke for sure. They come out and it's wide open for the full 30-minute race. So definitely was a little nervous shaping up against the turbos with Bo and Piplik and everyone else that races. So was definitely really, really nervous coming in with a brand new car, not sure how it was going to handle and stuff like that. But definitely the most nimble and agile car I've ever driven. So it definitely helps me out on that kind of course where it was super tight and technical.
Yeah. So, overall, I don't know, were you one of the guys? I know it's kind of out of the bag now, but I wasn't able to make it back there. But I think it was like in October, right? A bunch of Team Razor got to go back to Minnesota and drive these. Was this for your first time behind the wheel, or were you actually back there in October when the guys spent some time behind the wheel of these things?
Yeah. I got to spend some time back in October with a bunch of the Polaris Razor teams, so I was definitely excited to be called back there for that, and I got a couple miles in on it, but nothing too crazy, so definitely was a kind of a learning experience as well for me coming into the weekend.
Yeah, well, and I know a lot of people, and we're going to talk about racing here in a minute, but I know a lot of people when this thing debuted, because it's not really out there in the wild yet. What's the difference? You're one that you actually have raced an Ace before, and a lot of people go, this thing's just a bigger Ace. And I'm like, no. This thing is this is like full pure race Razor. It's bred out of Razor DNA. It's nothing like the Ace. But I mean, how is this thing to drive? I mean, kind of tell us a bit about it, because it's something drastically different than what people are wanting to compare it to.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely has some characteristics of the Ace and some characteristics of the 1000. So has kind of the agile and nimbleness of the Ace, where it turns sharp and kind of you could put it wherever you want and where you're going to go. But it has the power of the 1000 and the suspension of the 1000. So kind of combine those two together, and it definitely got the RS1, and definitely has like the wheelie where it comes out and kind of wheelies out of jumps and stuff with the Ace, and I think I really like that personally. It makes me comfortable and stuff like that. So definitely has some pros and cons of both of them, and I absolutely love it. 'Cause coming from an Ace guy, I always raced Aces growing up and stuff, so definitely suited my driving style.
Yeah, well, and that being said, I got to say, you out of the box, first works around, you take the win, and pretty much a stock RS1. I mean, you guys there, between you and your brother and the guys at Walker Evans Racing, you guys have to be doing like a bunch of pipe dreaming now, because if you can win out of the box in a stock RS1, you guys got to be wondering, when you can go back and actually tune on this thing and make some adjustments, how fast this thing's going to be.
Yeah, for sure. Coming into the weekend, when I signed up for the Pro Turbo race, I was like, okay, maybe top 3, like doable. And then I did qualifying, and I qualified second. I was like, okay, we're super close. I think if I fixed a little stuff on my driving-wise, I could definitely get the win, and definitely made it happen. But, yeah, with some help with the RJ37 crew, Walker Evans Racing, and everyone else, Holtz Racing Products, I think when we throw the wrench at it, I think we'll definitely be able to pick up some time.
Yeah. Well, and, obviously, that's the first works round. I know right now it's kind of I guess it's a little bit of off-season for you. I know a lot of the guys in the Razor community, they're heading over to King of the Hammers and things like that. But, what's in store for you? Obviously, I'm assuming you're back in Lucas Short Course this year. I know last year, man, you were doing Wrx, you were doing Terracross, you were doing Lucas. I mean, you were all over the grid. I mean, what does this year look like for you, Ronnie?
Yeah, for sure. I think this year my main focus will be Lucas in the 1000 class, as well as the Turbo class for the UTVs and Pro Light as well. Might do some select Wrx events and select Terracross events as well, just to kind of keep me fresh and just keep me busy.
Yeah, so, man, triple duty in Lucas, though. Like, that's, wow. Like, I mean, that's a massive undertaking. I mean, I know talking to RJ, like, when he was just doing Pro Light and, and Pro 2, it was a big thing. But I haven't seen how the schedules are going to work out. Are they going to run, 1000s, turbos, and Pro Light? Are they all going to be National Series this year?
Yeah, they will all be National Series, so I'm super excited for that. Actually, last year, I would be more tired getting out of my Razor than I would in my Pro Light. So I would kind of, after the Razor, go back, try to take a quick nap, and then get back in the Pro Light. But, yeah, the UTV classes are always so crazy because everyone is full wide open for the full 12 laps. And it's just crazy, the competition, because everyone is so close.
Yeah, and as far as the Pro Light goes, I mean, obviously, you've been in the UTV stuff for a long, long time. I mean, stepping up into the Pro Light the past year or two, how is that for you? I mean, obviously, we all love the UTV stuff. I mean, I've kind of taken a step back where I'm out of the trophy truck into the UTVs, but I know you looking at, the longevity of your career, at some point, the truck divisions are where you've got to, move into full-time and really make a name for yourself. I mean, how has Pro Light been going for you? I know you had some highlights last year. I mean, what are you looking forward to this year?
Yeah, I'm for sure looking forward to this year. Last year at the end of the season, I started getting back up on the podium, and it got my confidence way up. So coming into this year, my confidence is pretty high, especially after last weekend in the RS1, and just hoping to be able to contender for the championship all year long. I know, like Brock Hager, Brandon Arthur, Christopher Pavardi, those guys are all going to be there as well. So just excited to see how it all shapes out, and it's going to be a crazy battle to the end.
Well, and I got to ask you, because I know it was probably a year or so ago, you and your dad and I, we talked for quite some time at Camp Razor, and he was talking about, RJ choosing this, career path of, being a professional race car driver, and your dad was like, I was totally against it. I told him, like, do something smart with your life, right? But RJ is pretty much, he's doing it, and he's doing an amazing job, and you, I mean, obviously, I know you're going to school, and your parents have said, hey, like, you need to go to school, but at some part in the back of your head's like, all right, well, I've got the school stuff and we've got that to fall back on, but I really want to be a race car driver full time, right?
Yeah, for sure. This is my last year of high school, so we'll see what ends up happening after. If my mom makes me go to college, or if I could kind of do my racing and just do that full time right out of high school. So excited to kind of see what takes me there, but I'm definitely loving the racing and loving the truck stuff. So hopefully in the next couple of years I could get a couple of championships in Pro Light and the Razor classes and step up hopefully to Pro 2.
Yeah, well, and that's going to be kind of cool with you. You know, a lot of people come into racing and they don't understand the business side of it, but, you know, you're very fortunate. You've got your dad there with Walker Evans Racing, who's got an amazing career, you know, kind of behind the scenes. And then you've got RJ, obviously, you know, we know what he's done. I mean, that's got to be, you know, pretty good for you to be able to soak all this in, you know what I mean, from, you know, a sponsorship and a business side of things with racing where you can actually make a career out of it. Because I feel like a lot of guys your age, they don't really understand what happens behind the scenes to make a career out of this. And I feel like you know, you're stepping into a position where it's like you do have a grasp of the industry and what it takes to make a career out of it.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely learning from two of the best people in the industry. I mean, my dad's been doing it for over 30 years with Walker, and now with his business even, it helps see kind of the business side where, like, Polaris is coming from or any other business is coming from, so you kind of know where the businesses are. And then RJ, who's a driver, and he knows what the drivers need to do. So kind of take it in from both sides and kind of combine it into one to hopefully try to master the business side.
So I got to ask, like, we got a pipe dream here because, you know, you're senior in high school, right? And you know, you talk with all these drivers, and I talked with Haley Deegan recently and some of these others, and everybody's kind of got their own past coming out of off-road and where they want to go. I mean, you know, if Ronnie Anderson could pick his destination, say 5-10 years from now, I mean, you know, I'm just looking at off-road, and you've got rallycross, and you've got NASCAR, and all these other things. I mean, where does Ronnie Anderson want to go?
I hope to be in a Pro 2, Pro 4 situation. I've been doing some legend cars on the road stuff as well, so I'm not the best at the road course yet, but if that seems to take off for me and I could get some people to help me out with that, I would be interested in some road stuff too. That's more big money stuff, you know, for sure. So right now my options are pretty open, so just going to do what takes me where, and hopefully, though, I love dirt, so I always want to stick with dirt. It's a lot more fun for me, and it's always where I've grown up, so that's where I'd like to stay, but you never know.
Yeah, the one thing I keep waiting for the announcement is you and RJ tag team in a desert racing program. Like, I can see that. Like, I'm like, man, that's like RJ plays around with Scanlon once in a while and, you know, and does some other stuff. And I'm like, I know you guys, like, and I know your dad, like, there's an itch there for desert racing. And I'm like, I keep waiting for the Anderson brothers to announce this, like, desert racing program or something. It's just like me sitting there going, it's going to happen someday.
Yeah, the desert racing is tough for us because we're always so busy with the short course stuff we do, or we end up doing the Wrx races like I just did, and but I've always wanted to do desert. My brothers, I've never actually driven in a desert race. My brother has, but I have not. I've only ridden with RJ. So I would definitely want to get into the desert stuff and maybe see how I do there. I'm not the best at keeping cars together at long ends of time. So hopefully with age, I've been getting better at that with age. So hopefully I could get into a desert car here sometime and kind of show people that I can keep the car together now and stuff like that.
I got to tell you, though, the desert races, it's become a sprint. Like, I don't know if it's about keeping your cars together or not because, dude, it's become like, I mean, just drop the hammer and you got to run 110% to even think about a podium. And it's like, it used to be like, especially in the UTVs, it was just survival, right? If you finished, it was going to be a podium. Now it's like, if you're not dropping the hammer, it's just like you've got no chance.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, with all the guys that are fast, like Brandon Sims, Mitch Guthrie, Brandon Schuler, all those guys are definitely really, really fast guys, and they've all been doing it for a really long time in the desert, so that's definitely intimidating going into something new for me like that. So definitely would need some practice time behind the wheel, and yeah, I think it would be really fun, though, with me and RJ both doing it, kind of a family deal, and it would be really exciting for me for sure.
Yeah. So obviously Wrx, first round of Wrx is down. You know, what's next for you, Ronnie?
What's next is we're going to do some testing for short course. We're got a Pro Light test next Friday, and see how that goes. So hopefully we start out of the gate really good, and maybe test some razors and stuff as well. But going to be focused on Pro Light until the first race of the round, first race weekend, and in March. So excited for that, and can't wait. That can't come fast enough.
Yeah. So UTV World Championship, we're going to see you pull something out for that. Either the probably the short course race. We're going to see you in action there at the UTV Worlds.
Yeah, I'll always be at the UTV World Championship, so that's always one of my favorite races because it's a sprint. I mean, through the gnarliest desert course probably I've ever driven on, and it's just a full-on sprint, hoping you don't break and trying to save the car, but you want to go fast at the same time. So I'm definitely excited for the YouTube World Championship, and RJ won it last year, so I'm coming for him this year for sure.
Nice, and it's funny because it's going to be interesting to watch you guys compete. But I feel bad for you short course guys because, like, we did 10 laps in the desert car. Lap 10, we got to finish, and Jolene and I, and at the end of lap 10, I'm like, this sucks. This course is beat. And then you guys had to go off the line and do it all over again, and I'm like, I feel bad. It was like you guys were just driving into hell. Like, that course, there was nothing left for your first lap. I felt so bad for you guys having to go out on that, man. You guys were thrown to the wolves.
Yeah, definitely. The first lap, you come out and you're like, oh, this course is already beaten. By the third lap, after the 80-some cars from year, it was, I mean, you were just hoping you were hitting square edge bumps, like, oh, and hoping you didn't just rip the front end off. So, but definitely excited for this year. It's kind of the fun part of the race is how rough it is and kind of the survival and how fast you can go at the same time. So I think hopefully I could drive the RS1 because it's really durable and really fast at the same time. So I'm excited.
Yeah, that'll be definitely interesting to see how that does the UTV World Super Lightweight too. So I think it's definitely got a good shot. But I appreciate you taking the time, man. Always fun catching up, Ronnie. I'm sure we'll see you out one of the races soon.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having me.
And we'll be back after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. You want extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on four wheels? The Polaris Razor brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris Razor because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team Razor because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris Razor because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRazor.com or follow at Polaris Razor on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RazorLife to share your story.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
Hi everyone, I'm Lauren Sanchez.
And I'm Susie Schuster. Get ready because each week Lauren and I are going to be talking about the biggest stories in sports on our new podcast, Locker Room Talk.
You've never heard a sports show like this one before. We're going to cover what is happening in the sports world with a flair that only women can bring.
Yeah, this is what we call real Locker Room Talk. Don't forget to download each new episode every Thursday.
You can listen to Locker Room Talk for free exclusively on Apple Podcast at podcastone.com and on the Podcast One app.
Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Thanks for tuning in to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, available live online, in syndication on networks across the U.S., and available internationally on the American Forces Network.
All right, Jim Beaver here, wrapping things up on another edition of the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Big thanks to Jordan Anderson for calling in, Joe Duncan, CJ Hutchins, and Ronnie Anderson. Big Anderson weekend. Man, thank you guys for tuning in. We got King of the Hammers this weekend, Supercross as always. We've got some more snowcross coming up. NASCAR, Daytona. It's silly season, man. We got motorsports coming out our ears here very soon. Lots of global rallycross news to come as well. So thank you guys for tuning in. Give me a follow. It's at JimBeaver15 on social media. Amy is at AmyHood71. Don't forget to check out my other show, Project Action, on Podcast One, dropping on Thursdays. And you can also rate, review, subscribe to that on iTunes, as well as the Down and Dirty Radio Show. Looking for a coupon for Dirtfish Rally School for 15% off. It's JB Dirtfish. And don't forget to visit Amsoil.com/Indy to get in on that Amsoil Ultimate Indy 500 fan experience. Thank you to Polaris Razor, General Tire, Subaru, KC Highlights, Gibson Exhaust, Dirtfish, Impact, Optimus, Terracross, the Blue Water Resort and Casino. And we will be back next week with some more of your favorite Action Motorsports radio show. Thank you guys for tuning in, supporting us. And, man, we'll see you guys next week. As always, game on.